Hello, everyone. Welcome to our Generative AI for Startups webinar. I am Monique Sullivan, and I am a customer engineer here at Google Cloud. Today, we will be giving you an overview of what's generative AI and what you can do with that on Google Cloud. If you have any questions, please drop in the chat below. Our presenters today will be myself and those three brilliant customer engineers from Google Cloud, Akanksha, Leah, and Grace. And this is our agenda for today. We will be giving you an overview of what's generative AI and what you can do with that on Google Cloud. After this, we will dive into our generative AI offerings. And at the end, we will give you instructions on how to start your journey. First and foremost, what's generative AI? Generative AI is a type of artificial intelligence that can create new content, such as text, images, code, speech, or audio by learning the patterns and structures of existing data and generating new information. It can help your businesses to save time and money, and it can also help you to create more engaging and effective content and tools. Generative AI can help you to boost your productivity, accelerate your ideas, and fuel your curiosity. As generative AI continues to develop, it is likely to have an increasingly significant impact on our lives. It could be used to create new forms of communication, art, entertainment, and revolutionize the way that we design products and materials, and even help us to solve some of the world's most pressing problems. But consumers and enterprises have different needs regarding generative AI. Consumers are more interested in using generative AI to create personalized experiences, such as generating plans for a fun trip, or create a poem for a loved one, or just to ask general questions. Enterprises are more interested in using generative AI to improve their business operations, such as generating marketing materials or product descriptions, or to improve customer service, or document search and synthesis, or even like improve like developer efficiency or research as acceleration. Here at Google Cloud, we build enterprise products, which implies very specific capabilities consumers don't expect. You have probably heard about Bard. Google Bard is a large language model that it was trained on a massive data set of text and code. It can generate text, translate languages, write different kinds of creative content, and answer your questions in an informative way. You can try it yourself at bard.google.com. However, this is not the product to use for your companies. Bard is a product direct at consumers, and as you use it, your data becomes Google data. Bard does not come with security, IP controls, or governance that are required for your business use cases. Our enterprise platform is called Vertex AI. We will show you today how you can use the same LLM models that power Bard and many more for your business needs with all the flexibility, scalability, and security your business needs to succeed. So remember, Vertex AI. On Google Cloud, our enterprise focus includes the fact that your data as an enterprise remains your data, unless you decide otherwise. Using enterprise cloud technology offerings gives you control of your data. You don't want other organizations to know what data you LLMs are being trained on, or you don't want other organizations to see the output of that. End-to-end sovereign of your data is really important. The other thing that is really important is how you control that data. Most companies have first, second, and third party data. It isn't all their data. So organizations need to really think about how they will control the data that goes into those models. As an enterprise, you also want to be able to integrate existing data and content. It needs to be easy to integrate into existing environments without the need to build new connections. Now, how Google is different with its AI offerings for enterprises. First, privacy. Google ensures that you retain control over your proprietary data and how it is used in Google Cloud. Again, Google governs first party, second party, and third party data and gives you the ability to integrate, govern, manage it end to end inside your own tenant. Choice to value. Google doesn't believe that one model is going to be able to rule them all. Bigger is not always the better. You don't need a trillion parameter models to answer simple questions. And tools like distillation and reinforcement learning mean that smaller models may outperform larger models on specific tasks. Google Cloud gives you access to the right model at the right time and at the right cost for the use cases that you need. We are grounded in factuality. Large models provide with a lot of creativity, but for enterprise grade use cases, it is important to also have factuality and guardrails. Google Cloud brings together LLMs, search, and conversation and gives you the ability to ground your answers in factuality, both on public search and private corpuses, and to guardrail responses to make sure your conversation bots say the right things at the right time. We are also easy to start. Google Cloud has always provided tooling to democratize access to AI and ML and make it as easy as possible to get started. And we are doing the same with generative AI. Our AI solutions provide out of the box tooling powered by generative AI. Lastly, and not less important, security at scale. All of our generative AI offerings are built atop our Google Cloud infrastructure. This means that you automatically inherit your existing user security data, data management, and entitlement regimes. And with our end-to-end data to AI platform, you are able to manage both your data and models to ensure your generative AI model is fully governed and managed. Across everything we are doing, we are taking a bold and responsible approach to AI. Know that the responsibility for AI is always there as well. From how we develop our models or how we deliver webinars with you, like this one, to evaluate risks and create right guardrails, to how we architect our entire approach to provide you complete control over your data. 5 years ago, we were one of the first companies to publish AI principles, and these principles were crafted with input from customers like you all and partners, and are at the core of how we design and operate our generative AI products to ensure we, with our customers, collectively achieve the intended benefits and to avoid unintended potential harms of these amazing technologies. And I want to highlight here the areas that we will not pursue. The first one is like anything that is likely to cause overall harm. The second is like anything that the principal purpose is to directly injure someone. The third one is like surveillance violating internationally accepted norms. And the last one is anything that the purpose is going to contravene international law and human rights. Every single industry will benefit from generative AI, whether it's by delivering exceptional new customer experiences in consumer focused industries like retail and media, or accelerating research and discovery in healthcare and financial systems, and driving operational efficiency on manufacturing. The core capabilities of chat, search, and content generation are core to bringing all of these use cases to life. We at Google Cloud are building references architecture and deployment guides to help you to get started on many of these use cases. We can check here some examples. Like for retail, we can create customer service automation or new product development or like a supply chain advisor and many more. For financial services, we can offer like financial document search and synthesis, or we can enhance your virtual assistant, or we can create a tool to help with capital market research, or we can personalize financial recommendations, for example. And for like healthcare and life science, again, digital patients concierge or a public and private contextual search, or we can create a tool to expedite prior authorization letter or clinical trial report generation or customer service agent. Customer service agent is a tool that you can use across almost like all the industries that we see here. For like manufacturing, you can use that as well, and also you can create like a supply chain advisor or a product and content catalog discovery or machine generated events monitoring. In like media and entertainment that we have here, it can help you with things like creative assistance or internal document and media search or branded consumer interactions, or even like to summarize content and metadata. And also, like for communication service providers, again, customer or employee service automation, or networking planning and operations, or we can create a knowledge base for like employee search, or you can use like test and code script generations. The use cases are many, and we can help you to find the one that best suit your needs. I'm excited to share our new Vertex AI portfolio with you today. And as you can see, you have expanded the Vertex AI brand to include everything we offer to support the needs of generative AI for enterprises. Vertex AI is now our unified artificial intelligence brand here at Google. Of course, our AI portfolio is built on top of our world-class AI optimized infrastructure and deeply integrated with the rest of Google Data Cloud. From there, we have the Vertex AI Model Garden with Google. We have on the Model Garden Google first party, partner, and open source models, and as well our AI platform, which gives you end-to-end tooling to help you to build, deploy, and monitor your Gen AI models. And on the top of that, we have Vertex AI Search and Conversation, which offers the tools and services developers need to quickly and easily infuse chat, Gen AI, and search into your enterprise applications. And this was previously named as Gen AI App Builder. And lastly, there we have our AI solutions, which provides purpose with built for solutions common use AI cases. And on the bottom of everything, we have our infrastructure. Google Cloud offers a scalable, high performance, and cost effective infrastructure for every AI workload. With Google Cloud, you can choose from GPUs, TPUs, or CPUs to support a variety of use cases, including high performance training or like low cost inference and large scale data processing, for example. GPUs and TPUs are both specialized hardware accelerators that can be used to train and deploy machine learning models. However, there are some key differences between the two technologies. GPUs are more like general purpose accelerators, and they can be used for a wide variety of tasks, while TPUs are specifically designed for machine learning workloads. This means that TPUs can typically achieve higher performance on machine learning tasks than GPUs. But ultimately, the best choice for a particular machine learning project will depend on the specific needs of your project. And you can also deliver results fast with our Vertex AI managed infrastructure. You can set up ML environments quickly, automate orchestration, or manage large clusters, and set up low latency applications. And speaking of infrastructure, let's get into it. We have large scale compute available in a variety of shapes and configurations. So for the TPUs that we just spoke about, we invented the TPU architecture to allow us to run on the massive LLMs that powers Google search and the other billion users consumer products that the world depends every day. You can see the massive performance increase of TPUs with every new generation. So cloud TPUs V4 pods run large-scale training workloads up to 80% faster than the alternatives. And we just spoke about the GPUs as well. So the NVIDIA GPUs are also a key option for training and inference in Google Cloud. They offer up to like 6 times cost reduction with AI accelerators. And we also offer a wide range of compute options for use cases such as large language models, generative AI, and diffusion models. So with Google Cloud, you can choose from GPUs, TPUs, or CPUs to support a variety of use cases. In addition to our stellar AI infrastructure, we recently announced a new generation of TPUs developed by Google. The new cloud TPUs V5e. They are a new highly efficient version of a custom designed hardware that supports complex AI models with a fraction of the cost. So TPU V5e delivers up to two times higher training performance per dollar and up to 2.5 times inference performance per dollar for LLMs and Gen AI models if you compare to the cloud TPUs V4. And this is at less than half of the cost for TPUs V4. TPU's V5E makes it possible for more organizations to train and deploy larger and more complex AI models. And we also recently announced the A3 VMs powered by NVIDIA H100s. They offer 3 times faster training and 10 times greater networking bandwidth than HU. So this is great for like the incredibly demanding AI workloads that we have seen lately. Now we will talk about our Vertex AI platform. With the general availability of Vertex AI search and conversation, as well as the GA of Model Garden, Gen AI Studio, and our Vertex AI foundation models earlier this year, our entire portfolio of Gen AI offers is generally available and ready for our customers to use in production. Our Vertex AI platform is the platform that covers all the AI and machine learning products at Google. And today we'll be talking specifically about the tools for generative AI. And we will start with Model Garden. So Model Garden is on the Vertex AI platform, and there is a collection of pre-trained models that can be used for a variety of tasks, including image classification, natural language processing, and recommendation systems. It is a tool that you can easily like find, train, adjust, and you can use like Vertex AI and open source models and resources. And you can filter here the models that you're looking at by modality, including like language, vision, speech, or you can filter them like by task like generation, like extraction and classification. And on the bottom, you can see that you can also like filter the models by features like API-based models or like one-click models or like notebook support. And Vertex AI offers a variety of models to choose from. And again, like I said, it includes like first party models, which consists of like foundation models and pre-trained APIs, or you can find like open source models and third party models. And I would say that Model Garden is a valuable resource for developers who need to quickly and easily add machine learning capabilities to your applications. And with our open model ecosystem, we offer over 100 models from Google open source and partners. I'm sorry, like from Google, from open source and for partners. A foundation model is a large machine learning model which is trained on a vast quantity of data at scale, such that it can be adapted to do a wide range of downstream tasks. And here we have 6 examples of new foundation models across the variety of modalities and tasks in Gen AI Studio. So these models include capabilities to generate text, dialogue, code generation, code completion, image generation, and embeddings for downstream ML tasks. And in line with our commitment to fostering an open ecosystem, we recently announced the addition of Meta's Llama 2 and Code Llama to our Model Garden. So Code Llama was added to Vertex AI within just like 48 hours of its release. Of course, that this is with all the required enterprise readiness and security controls that are built in. And we also pre-announced the addition of Anthropic's Cloud 2 to Model Garden and Falcon. And with these additions, Google Cloud now provides the widest variety of models to choose than any other hyperscale cloud provider. We do have our own models, but we also welcome models from partners. And of course, we embrace, again, open source models. When you open Model Garden, you see a wide range of models. Again, this is what we're gonna see on the menu. You have foundation model, fine-tunable models, and task-specific solutions. You can open the model that you're interested in, and you can see overview, you can see some use cases, and the documentation regarding that model. You can see now an example of Code Llama being deployed. I want to give you like some time to take a look on how easy that would be. And now moving on. Again, you can see how quickly you can deploy a model. So Google Cloud is designed to help you empower your teams by bringing this simplicity. We also want to offer you like options to scale, like to have security and the intelligence of Google's information approach to your organization as well. So our tools are powerful, but they also easy to use. And I'm excited to announce actually that Google Cloud is the only provider that offers both adapter tuning and reinforcement learning with human feedback for Llama 2. So if you decide to use the model, you're going to be able to tune Llama 2 with your own enterprise data while continue to maintain like full control and ownership of your data. And Google Cloud is the only provider that offer both like adapter tuning and reinforcement learning with human feedback for Llama 2. Now I wanted to talk to you about another feature of Vertex AI. And also, you probably know that for most data scientists, AI work starts with a notebook. So Google Colab, or like Collaboratory, is a free Jupyter notebook environment that runs in the cloud. It was developed by Google Research to bring the Google Docs-like collaboration features to data scientists. It was released in 2017, and since it was released, Colab has been adopted widely. So today, Colab has over 7 million users, and two-thirds of the Fortune 100 companies are already using Colab. And Colab is a hosted Jupyter Notebook environment that requires no setup to use. You can write and execute code, save and share your work, and you can access from anywhere. And Google Cloud now brings the Colab experience to customers with much desired enterprise grade security and compliance support capabilities, and make it truly enterprise ready. So Colab is available right now on Vertex AI, BigQuery, and on more options of our portfolio. So with Colab Enterprise on Vertex AI, users can now get it up and running quickly with a zero configuration experience. And we have added native integration with Duet AI to provide the generative AI powered code completion and generation. And this should help like data scientists to be more productive. And with easy collaboration capabilities like AIM based notebook sharing, or you can add like comments, or you can like co-editing. So we believe that organizations can achieve greater productivity and deployment speed as well with this release. And now I'm gonna pass it over to Akanksha.
Thank you so much, Monique. My name is Akanksha, and I will be talking about our AI platform within Vertex AI. So as Monique talked about, this is what our platform or family of Gen AI products on GCP looks like. And so I'll be talking about this middle tier specifically, which is called our AI platform. And this includes all of our foundational models and all of the capabilities that come with LLMs, like tuning, evaluating, connecting, creating embeddings, code generation, image generation, text, prompting, and grounding. So let's talk about our foundational models. We offer a wide variety of foundational models, primarily these 6. So this includes text, which is our POM for chat and our POM for text. This includes code generation and code completion through our Cody model. This includes image generation and image captioning through our Imagine model, and embeddings. And this also includes Chirp, which is our speech to text and text to speech model. And beyond just having the choice to choose between all of these 6 different models, you also have built-in safety and built-in governance and access to the best state-of-the-art models that Google is offering. And this comes with enterprise-grade infrastructure with performance, scalability, low cost, and global reach with all of the above. So some of you may have used some of these foundational models in the past, but I wanted to highlight that we recently announced new versions and updates to a lot of these models. So I'll quickly go over that here. These new versions will lead to improved performance across all modalities for these models. So for our POM models for chat and text, we expanded the input context window by 8 times. So it went from 4K to 32K tokens. And I'll talk about that a little bit more in detail. For Imagine, you're going to see higher quality in the images that are being generated. So we're expanding our robust set of tuning methodologies to meet the diverse customization needs of you all. And this includes things like adapter tuning for Imagine and for Cody, and public preview of a tool called reinforcement learning with human feedback that makes it possible to use human inputs to optimize the model performance. And this also includes style tuning for Imagine, which gives customers the ability to generate images aligned to their unique aesthetic. And the last thing I want to highlight is that we recently announced something called digital marketing watermarking, which allows for an invisible watermark on images generated by Imagine. So lots of updates in these models here, and we can dive into these models one by one. So let's start with PaLM for text and chat. So we offer models of a variety of different sizes, tentatively with 1 billion, 24 billion, 64 billion parameters, etc. And with these wide models comes a wide variety of language tasks that they can be used for. So they can be used for things like summarization, like entity or information extraction, like classification, or rewriting specific text in a different format, or general ideation. The list can go on and on. And this can all be done with a zero shot or a few shot approach in prompting the model. This can be done with our gallery of pre-built prompts that we provide to you. This can be done using your own custom data and tuning the model with that. And all of this can be accessed via API. And it does not require any coding or any ML expertise to be able to use this. So again, really quickly highlighting the updates surrounding PaLM for text and chat. So this new version that we've released increased the input token length by 4 times. So before we had approximately 8,000 tokens that could be used as the input size, which is now increased to 32,000 tokens. This makes it easy for you to process longer form documents like research papers, like legal briefs, books, and much more. And for a little bit of context, 32,000 tokens is around the 80-page window. We've also introduced the ability to use a batch API for text and chat to be able to scale these capabilities. And we've also introduced more and more languages that you can use the PaLM API with. So currently we have these 38 languages that are currently available. So that includes Chinese, Japanese, German, Spanish. You can see the list on the screen here. And we have 100 more languages that are currently being developed and are available in private preview. So let's talk about one of our next tools, which is called the Embeddings API. So this API allows you to extract semantic information from input text in the form of a vector of floats, and this is referred to as an embedding. And a little bit different than the PaLM API that we were just talking about, this is built for AI practitioners and people that have a little more understanding of AI ML and a little more expertise, as opposed to the PaLM API, which was for anyone. And embeddings can really be used downstream for a wide variety of tasks. They can be used for things like semantic search, for recommendation systems, for multimodal classification, etc. Next, we have our coding model. So our coding model is our text to code or our code completion model. And I have a quick video here that will go over an example of what our coding model looks like. Awesome. So the primary features in our coding model consist of code generation and code completion. So for code generation, you can be given a textual prompt describing a coding task, and the code generation API will generate code for you in, let's say, Python or C++. That's what you saw in the video that we played earlier. The code completion API will take a partial code snippet as input and suggest completed code output. So this API is mostly targeted to assisting developers in their workflows, making their job easier and more efficient. And in addition to the UI front end that we're showing you here, we plan to embed these APIs into the upcoming Google Collab offering that Monique was talking about earlier. Now let's talk about Imagine, which is our text-to-image and our image captioning foundational model. So this provides capabilities such as generating images from scratch, such as editing existing images. They can either be images that you provide the model or images that you previously generated with the model itself. This can be things like captioning existing images and visual question and answering. And recently, the new version of Imagine that we've released, we have significantly improved the quality of the generated images. So over here, again, you can generate images from scratch, you can edit images, and you can do so without having to mask the images. So you can either create a mask to edit a certain part of your image, or you can use the prompting tool to tell the foundational model what aspects of the images you want edited. And you can also add captions, and you can do visual question and answering with these images. A new feature that I want to highlight is called digital watermarking. And we're very proud to be the first cloud provider to enable digital watermarking for generated images. So this tool on Vertex AI is powered by Google's DeepMind's Synth ID, which is a state-of-the-art technology that embeds the watermark directly into the image of the pixels. So it makes it invisible to the human eye, it doesn't damage the image quality, and is not easy to remove. And this is being launched in an experimental state. We're working with a couple customers to get feedback and continue developing it. And again, this tool is really groundbreaking because it does not lower the image quality at all, and it's not easily tampered with. And again, this is powered by Google's DeepMind. And this really brings in our responsible AI principles that Monique was also mentioning earlier, and our Google Cloud's commitment to expanding the tools available to our customers and making sure that it's all done very responsibly. Now, staying on the front of Imagine, we also recently introduced a pretty cool feature, which is called style tuning. So using this feature, companies can now create images aligned to their specific brand or aesthetic or specific guidelines that they have for their creative needs. And this can be done with as few as 10 reference images. So this is generally available to use with Imagine today. The next model that I wanted to talk about is called Chirp. So this is one of our foundational models, and it was formerly known as the Universal Speech Model, or USM, and it's a new category of speech model. So this foundational model for speech recognition is unlike other speech-to-text models in that it's trained on data from every language that we have data for, and then later it's fine-tuned for specific pairs. So a large speech model that's trained on 12 million plus hours of speech data makes Chirp really robust and resulting in higher accuracy in more language and accents than any traditional speech to text or text to speech model that exists. So all of these models that I talked about can be accessed in our tool called Generative AI Studio, which is accessed within Vertex AI. And Generative AI Studio gives you a user interface that allows creative generators or AI collaborators to try out all of these models and figure out what parameters work for them with a very simple and easy to use UI that you're seeing on the screen here. So this allows you to try out different parameters like temperature or top P or top K and do it all in the user interface. And this is really for creators, this is for app developers, and even AI practitioners when they want to take that code and maybe fine tune or customize the model in different ways. So speaking of customizing the models, the generative AI studio that I just talked about is all done in a UI. But what if you want to further customize and really refine that model for what you're looking at? This is sort of the spectrum that you can use to customize or tune your foundational models. And this starts way on the left with prompt design, which is the simplest and what we're all really familiar with. So prompt design is basically the art of refining and figuring out what prompts you can feed the model to get the most optimal results. And then way on the right side, we have something called full fine tuning, which is essentially creating a version of the model and fine tuning it for specific needs and specific data to refine it for those specific use cases. Now, in the middle is what we'll be talking about here, which is called adapter tuning and reinforcement learning with human feedback. And these are two techniques that you can use to customize or tune your foundational models that is not as simple or high level as prompt design, but not as computationally taxing or technically tasking as fully fine tuning the model. So let's start with reinforcement learning from human feedback, or RLHF. So this is for more advanced users. And this basically takes human feedback on the model outputs to tune the model using Vertex AI pipeline. So obviously this technique requires a higher level of machine learning skills, but based on customer feedback, we have seen this to be really effective, and we are excited that this is available in preview. Now, there are other techniques to refine and work better with your model that don't involve, human integration or human feedback. And they include grounding, extensions, and tuning. So tuning is the ability to tune your foundational models with your own data and provide more accurate and relevant results. And we'll be diving deep into the different types of tuning in just a second. Grounding is the capability that grounds model output to a particular source. So it basically forces the model to provide output that is based on fact or source materials instead of sometimes making up content. In many situations, users want to ground the output to factual knowledge that's verified and correct beforehand. And so this grounding capability ensures that responses from the foundational models are both fresh and factual. And lastly, extensions is a set of tools that is going to help developers connect foundational models to real-time information and real-time world actions, all of which we'll talk about in just a second. So let's talk about our expanded tuning capabilities here. So our tuning capabilities, we have a robust set of them to meet the diverse customization needs of our customers. So this includes things like adapter tuning for text, for Imagine, for Cody, and things like reinforcement learning for human feedback that we just talked about before, and things like style tuning for images through Imagine. Adapter tuning basically is the ability to customize and refine your model using just a couple hundred examples. So this creates an adapter layer on top of your foundational model. You're not making a copy of the whole model, the whole original foundational model. You're using an adaptive layer on top of the foundational model. And this is great because it's not as computationally taxing, and it allows you to refine and customize your model using just a few hundred examples as opposed to a massive set of data that you would need for fine-tuning. And this is a great choice for a vast majority of our customers. Now, extensions is a set of fully managed tools that can help developers connect foundational models to real-time data and real-world actions. So for example, with Vertex AI extensions, developers can gain access to pre-built extensions for Google services, as well as extensions from other Google partners. Developers can build and manage their own extensions, leveraging built-in LangChain integration and the ability to call APIs with private extensions as well. Developers can also access real-time information, and they can create Gen AI apps that can take real-world actions on the user's behalf, like completing a purchase online, or putting a leave request, or updating a calendar, things like that. Now let's talk about our grounding service. So this enterprise grounding service works across our Vertex AI custom models. It works across Vertex search and conversation, which is what Leah will be talking about right after this. And it connects with your enterprise data to deliver more accurate responses and help reduce model hallucination. So we've seen hallucination as a big problem in LLMs, and so our grounding service is our solution for that. We're also working with a few early customers to test this service here. But let's look at an example of what this really means. So in this example here, you can see the middle box as the generic answer that you would get from a foundational model on a question about 401k contribution. And on the right, you can see the response that you get when the foundational model is grounded on your enterprise data. So the LLM's response is now augmented with your company's specific 401k matching information that has been sourced with your data that you fed into this service. So a quick recap on customizing your LLMs with Vertex AI here. On the left, we talked about prompt design, which is the art of using a zero shot or a one shot or a few shot approach to be able to say the right thing or prompt the right thing to your LLM to be able to get the optimal output. Then we talked about adapter tuning, which allows you to customize and refine your model without having to fully fine tune it. So you can do this using a couple hundred examples, and this is done using an adaptive layer that sits on top of the base LLM. Then we talked about reinforcement learning for human feedback, which allows you to bring in humans to be able to refine and customize based on the outputs of the model. And again, this, as we move down the spectrum, gets a little bit more technically expensive and a little bit more exhaustive, needing ML expertise. And then lastly, we talked about our options for fully fine-tuning the model in Vertex AI. So you're customizing your model, you've done all that, but we want to make sure that you're not throwing out the idea of investing in an ML ops platform. And so that is why we've extended our existing ML ops suite of tools on the Vertex AI platform to support the needs of those that are building and deploying Gen AI by adding new capabilities. So for example here, customers can see, you can see your adaptive models that you created in the Vertex AI model registry, along with any other custom models that you also created. So that gives you a single pane of glass across all the models for easy management. Now, while we're giving you easy management, we can't forget about one really important aspect of generative AI, which is evaluating the models on the tasks that you're tasking them to do. So we believe it's really imperative to have a systematic way to evaluate the quality of different models. And this is something we do internally day in and day out as we continuously are tuning and improving our own models so we can release in better versions. So we currently offer two approaches to model evaluation. The first approach is automatic metrics. So customers can define a set of task-specific metrics, and the model is evaluated against a ground truth data set. So the model output is evaluated against the desired output, and then Vertex will then determine the quality of the given model for you. The second approach is called automatic side-by-side. So when you have multiple models that you want to evaluate, this technique uses a very large language model as a proxy for a human evaluator to evaluate the output of models being tested. This tool is meant to augment human evaluations and not meant to eliminate the need for humans completely. They provide a means to narrow down the set of candidates to quickly send for human evaluations. To ensure our models are performing in alignment with safety and guidelines, we offer tools such as safety attributes that can label things like harmful categories and topics that may be considered sensitive, or things like recitation checks that help ensure that our models do not replicate existing content at length. And with that, I wanted to highlight that Vertex AI gives you full control of your data, of your code, and your IP with zero data leakage. So your data, and when we say your data, we mean your input data, your metadata, model outputs, human feedback, all of that is yours and no one else's. When you train, fine-tune, or serve your models with Vertex AI, with, let's say, private documents from your SaaS application or proprietary databases, you are not exposing any of that data to the general foundational model, to other Google customers, to other Google services, or the internet at all. You're working with a snapshot of the model, or a frozen model, as we like to call it, which allows you to train and encapsulate it in a private configuration within your Google Cloud VPC, all in your sole control. So with that, I will hand it off to Leah, who will talk about Vertex Search and Conversation.
Thank you, Akansha. I'm Leah. I'm also a customer engineer for Google Cloud, and I'll talk you through search and conversation today. You have seen this overview already a couple of times now before, but as I said, like the search and conversation will be now part of my presentation. Those are basically the tools and services developers need to quickly and easily infuse chat and Gen AI and search and everything into the enterprise applications. And previously, you might have heard us as Gen App Builder, but now we all moved it under Vertex AI, so it's there for you now to find it. So before we dive into the products, I quickly want to show you this overview. This is basically a really high level of like how your data moves through through Vertex AI search and also Vertex AI conversation before you have it in output. So on the left side, you can see the input sources where things like product catalog, multi-turn dialogue, voice activation, and transaction that is then moved inside Vertex AI search or Vertex AI conversation, or the two together. And then we use mechanisms like extensions, groundings, also different kind of connectors that Akansha talked you through already, to then in the end have the output in terms of transaction, generative results, conversational answers, all these kinds of things that you might want to have to really have the chat or the search availability in your applications. So let's dive a bit deeper into each of the products. So today we're looking especially more into first search and then conversation. Search will get you a search functionality in your application without requiring too much setup. It allows you to create anything that's kind of a one search experience, but also chat experience with minimal coding. One of the most challenging problems we have seen from our customers is to solve for an organization the discoverability of information. All the companies have a lot of information, but it's really, really hard to make them available. And all the data is also scattered across a bunch of different sources. Some might be in documents, some might be in databases, others might be in web pages, and it makes it really difficult for employees and also customers to find what they are looking for, whether it's internal or external data. So the main challenges we are trying to solve with Vertex Search is the first one is the service level requirements for any Vertex AI search. That is normally very, very high. So most companies don't have time or budget to build a service that is capable of handling large amounts of data in a wide variety of formats while being scalable and available 24/7. The second challenge we have seen is the traditional keyword search that is too restricted, especially for users who are familiar with AI-powered search and recommendations every day on YouTube, Instagram, and other apps. These experiences are the standard way today and make it so much more difficult to implement something that doesn't have these capabilities. That's Vertex AI search really helps you to implement that. The third challenge is how to take advantage of generative AI and LLMs that are pinnacles of information retrieval technology. Vertex AI Search from Google Cloud provides a simple way to set up services that unify all of this data together and make it straightforward to find. Vertex AI supports creating search engines and shared interfaces, and this session will be focusing on bringing the power of both of these things together. It's an out-of-the-box solution, which means you can deploy fully managed search engine quickly. You don't have to build and lead an entire DevOps team to manage that. You can just plug it in and it works. And last but not least, it also uses semantic search, which provides the next-gen search experience that we'll also discuss a bit later. Vertex AI provides the LLM-based summarization, multimodal search, and chatbot integration, and utilizes the latest AI technology. Let's have another look here. So you can see again here that's an out-of-the-box search engine over your own data that utilizes semantic and keyword search along with generative AI for high-quality results. You can search over websites, structured and unstructured data, along with third-party connectors. This lets you set up functioning search engines in minutes with some options for customization, without needing to manage any embeddings or LLM promptings. You just give it a link to the data and it gets ingested. So you can see here in the little video on the left side how you can easily pull in all your data and it just walks through and creates your summarization of the different documents that you have from all kind of different formats. And you can even test it in here and of course also apply it to any kind of other appliance. To give you a little demo, I have an example here where we used 20 PDF files of Google research papers that have a total of 400 pages. So just imagine you get asked by, for example, your manager, can you investigate what is video localized narratives and annotated diversity? And you have to scrutinize all those 400 pages. So of course you don't want to read through 400 pages. So the simple answer to that is use Vertex AI Search and run a query. And that is also what we'll do now. In this little video, you can see how we create like an engine named test0 with like unstructured data. So the PDF files are the unstructured data. We successfully have now created the search engine, and we're connecting it to a cloud storage bucket where we have stored the PDF files. You can see here, we're connecting it, selecting it, and then importing it. And now it imports all the data that we have in the cloud storage bucket. And once it's imported successfully, we can see it in here. We can go into the preview field, and now we can basically already use it. So you'll see here, you can type now in the questions that your manager has asked you. So what is the video localized narrative? And you'll get like a full summary of like everything that is there, and also see the documents that were used for understanding the answer. That's basically it. That's how search works. So you can see with a couple of clicks and no coding required, you can set up a full search engine based on your data. We're moving now on to Vertex AI Conversations, which lets you easily build and deploy chat and voice bots. These bots use Vertex AI Search to index your enterprise data. In fact, you can use the same data to build both search engines and conversational bots, and enable you to offer more personalized, immersive conversations, but also enable real-time transactions. Not only are the responses grounded in data you have provided access to, you can also program how these bots handle specific queries. And the best part is that you can program the agent responses and workflows in natural language with no coding required. So you can talk to the bot or like write the bot a message, such as you would also write it to a human agent. Your conversation agent can help in completing transactions like booking flights on a travel website or requesting a new checkbook from your bank, with the chat interface serving as a personal digital assistant that we all are wishing for. And now connecting these enterprise data sources is also an easy thing to do with like the new Vertex extensions and data connectors that Akansha presented earlier. So all of that comes together in here and makes it like a really seamless experience. We can also look at this one here. Here you can easily see also like from a data architecture viewpoint how you can build it up. You can see here you have the user, then you have dialog flow, which is kind of our chat interface. You have enterprise search, so that's where all your data comes together. You can analyze it, you can summarize it and everything. And then you have also Vertex AI to get like all those ML things rolling on it. And then like on the right side, you can see how easy with like low code applications you can make it running and really create your own generative AI agent with your own data and your own kind of rules. You might now ask, if you know Dialogflow, how does it differentiate from Dialogflow? Because Dialogflow is already a chatbot. So why do you need also Vertex AI conversation on top of that? As you can hear, I'm saying on top of that because it all builds on each other. So if you look a bit into like what is like low level, what is high level, we would say like the lowest level is Dialogflow for the customer, like the CX version, which you can see like it's really like built on responses, like the functionalities and everything. So it's really like one-on-one matching, and there's not much like generative capabilities involved in here. So it's a really basic and low-level chatbot. You have then in the middle the knowledge connectors and Dialogflow. You have here the sign time, one-time services, and all of that. So that's already mid-level. But of course, on the top, we have Vertex AI Conversation in the Google Cloud Console that really helps you to create your own agent with your own data and your own rules, so you can really create personalized experiences. With Vertex AI Conversations, also developers can start by easily connecting the agents to relevant data sources, which you can see a bit into that graphic here. So like documents, websites, and any kind of other data that you might have. And of course, all like the data connectors that we discussed. And just with a couple of clicks, developers get an agent that converses and answers from their data. So all of the data is kind of like the knowledge of the bot. To supercharge the bot with transaction capabilities, developers would then leverage extensions either built by themselves, or they can also use the existing ones built by Google and also our partners, and then like advance on that and give like the bot more capabilities. Developers can execute common tasks by just adding pre-built tasks like check order status, explain bill, and a lot of other things like check on the flight, check on the information in the background. And with that, really create like also an experience that is really specific to the customer using the chatbot. And finally, if developers want more control over how the bot executes specific important tasks, they can leverage playbooks to specific tasks in human language, like step-by-step instruction on how to execute a task to the bot in the same way they would also talk to human agents. So they can, for example, say like, if that gets asked, you need to answer that. Or like greet the customer in a friendly way, say goodbye to the customer, ask for feedback, ask for like voucher codes or whatever might be needed. And all of these kind of instruction can be put in the bot, and then it's used over all the customers, but still like individually focused on the experience you want to give them. Also, to give you like another quick overview, like how easy it is to get started. So first of all, you need to like define your domain where you want to create your custom chatbot in. So you can see here, you just enter like your custom domain, and then it starts like building up your chatbot in there. You can also see here like why the generative part is so exciting, because it really dynamically creates those responses. So it's like really answering to whatever the customer is saying, and not saying like, okay, I can't understand you. It's coming up with answers, and it's also making sure to fall back on things that happened before. So for example, also when the customer's like, I need to leave for a second, and comes back, and the bot can react to it and can really create like an experience as if like a human would sit at the other end of the phone, well, the computer. And then last but not least, the chatbot with natural language prompts. You can, just as with like a new normal human agent, you can just put like the instruction in there. So for example, you can define like the flow needs to be always helpful, polite, and friendly, or you need to like ask for this or question that. All of these things you can put in there. You don't need to code anything. You can just put it in there, and then like design the conversation, how it should go between the chatbot and the customer. For making it a bit easier for you, you can also see like in this really simple overview chart, like how the conversation flows. So you can see here, for example, that the chatbot should ask, what's your order status, or what's your order number, or something like this, and then waits for the answer and react to the answer. So you can set like certain milestones in the conversation that the chatbot should go through, and like this then really generate like a flow that you want to get you to the goal that you need, while still providing a personalized and unique answer to the customer. If we see Vertex AI search and conversation together, it offers a really quick path to value for many, many, many enterprise use cases. So we've seen a lot of early adopters building a variety of applications, from like travel planning to food service to banking assistant, website chatbot, all of these kind of things, realizing measurable gains in business metrics like an increase of customer satisfaction, employee productivity, cost saving, all of these things, just by following the couple of steps that we just went through and making sure that like the customer gets a personalized experience. Let me also quickly walk you through an out-of-the-box walkthrough of like how to combine those two things in here. So what you see is in here that you create basically a search again with the enterprise edition feature. You give like your engine a name. So for example, here's Cloud Developer Advocate Onboarding. You select the region. We want to have a global bot in for that case. And then you add like also the data here. Here again, we have like data from the cloud storage bucket that we add in here. We just add like the link to it. We also say again, it's like unstructured documents. And we also add like a data store name. So here's like developer onboarding, because like the documents are for developer onboarding. Click create. And then we have to wait a couple of seconds for it to load. Now we have the data in here. We click create again. And then it says like you have successfully created your app. You can see here it's all created. The data is imported. We can also see like an overview of the data. And then we can go to configurations. We check like all the things in here, check also what else is in there, put like the advanced LLM features in, and then we can go to preview and test the search part out. So for example, we can ask here, what is a dev role? And then it gives us an answer and also shows us where it got the answer from. So we can see like the documents again. And the cool thing is also we can ask follow-up questions that refer to like the old questions, so you don't have to retype everything in. It understands like what you are referring to, gives new answers, and also like refers to the documents again. And if you want to, of course, you can even create like another follow-up question. So, for example, how do I maintain work-life balance with like my job? And it generates like another answer. Even if that answer might not be fully in the documents you've uploaded, it will find an answer for you, and still refers, of course, like to the documents that you're using in the background. You can also then test like the agent. So if you want to test like the chatbot here, say like what tools should I use to make a lab for developers? Click then here, and you get like an answer from the data you've uploaded that was used in the enterprise search already. And what are the code labs? So also here a follow-up question. You get again like an answer. And the nice thing in this like preview is also that you see like where the answer comes from. So you can really see like where it kind of generated the answer from. Then we close it here, and of course you don't want to use it exactly like this, so you can copy it out here, the messenger, and then build a beautiful page like this, for example, with the chatbot and enterprise search if you want to in the background. And you can then start asking your questions here. So what first party conference should I go to? Generates an answer and also shows you underneath it like the documents used for that. And of course, you can also create some follow-up questions here. So what community groups are there, for example, send. And then you also get like another answer for that. And yeah, you can also see here, it's again like understanding that you're talking about Google developer experts, and it hasn't forgotten about what you put in first. Yeah, that was like a really quick walkthrough of like our out-of-the-box solutions. There's one other thing that I really want to cover with you, and that's also something really, really nice that is coming also in the coming weeks and months. And those are our two domain-specific models. We have MedPan, that's like an LLM that's really specifically trained for the life science and healthcare sector, and then also SecPan, which is like the equivalent for the cybersecurity sector. And they're really specific for that. So once they're available to you, I would highly recommend that you try them out and see how they work. They'll give you more specific answers for those two sectors, and therefore you need like a bit less of tuning and prompting and everything. So a really, really good opportunity for everyone working in one of the two sectors who's looking for something a bit more specialized. And with that, I'm handing over to Grace.
Thanks, Leah. I'm Grace Hutchison, and today I'm going to be going over Duet AI for Google. This is a set of AI tools that are meant to help you be more productive in Google Workspace and Google Cloud. You can think of Duet AI as your always-on AI collaborator, powered by Google's leading large foundation models. Duet AI is revolutionizing the way our users work with Google Cloud and Workspace, which will help our customers boost their productivity, gain competitive advantages, and ultimately improve the bottom line. So like I mentioned, Duet AI will be available for Google Workspace and Google Cloud. Duet AI in Google Cloud gives every user a built-in expert coder, an SRE engineer, a data engineer, an expert data analyst, and a cybersecurity pro. Duet AI in Workspace gives every user a built-in writing helper, a spreadsheet expert, a project manager, a note taker for meetings, and a creative visual designer. All of these features are meant to help users be more productive in cloud and workspace. Now let's go over these feature sets in more detail, starting with Google Cloud. With Duet AI for Google Cloud, we're putting the power of generative AI into the hands of millions of Google Cloud users. Duet AI uses generative AI to provide assistance whenever you need it, with cloud IDEs, the cloud console, or a chat assistant available where you are. This is designed to help all cloud users, whether you're a developer, an operator, a security professional, or even those who don't know how to code, to navigate the cloud with more confidence, ease, and hopefully joy. Let's go into our private preview offerings for Duet AI for Google Cloud. So here's an overview of all of the Duet AI features that have been released in private preview, starting with assisted development using IDE code completion. Through Cloud Code, developers will have code completion, code generation, and integrated chat in Visual Studio Code, the Cloud Shell Editor, and Cloud Workstations. It can generate functions based on comments and definitions, as well as auto-fix errors in code. Second, we have assisted operations through Cloud Console integration. This is a feature in the form of integrated chat and widgets to help with code completion in specific product experiences such as BigQuery and Spanner. This will be an always-on chat assistant present in the Cloud Console. It can even retrieve how-to knowledge about GCP infrastructure, deployment, and best practices, as well as make recommendations for optimizing cloud applications on cost, security, reliability, and performance. Third, we have assisted data using BigQuery integration. This is built-in SQL completion, generation, and summarization in the BigQuery editor. Fourth, we have assisted no-code development using AppSheet. AppSheet is our low-code, no-code app creation software. And with this feature, it will allow AppSheet customers to use Duet AI to generate and maintain no-code applications through text input in Google Chat. Lastly, we have assisted security in GCP security products. The Duet AI experience will be built on Vertex AI infrastructure and leverage threat landscape visibility from Google Cloud and Mandiant. Google Cloud Security AI Workbench gives defenders more natural, creative, and effective ways to keep their organizations safe like never before. So this is just a brief overview of the Duet AI features that will be generally available in Google Cloud later this year. Now let's go over how you'll be able to customize your data for Duet AI for Google Cloud on your terms. So generative AI models can be made significantly more useful with even a modest amount of tuning. In Duet, we have informed our general coding model with GCP-specific expertise, but the model is capable of absorbing many additional layers of tuning. Our future plans include you being able to train models on your own code-based internal library APIs or particularly common framework patterns and versions used in your organization. Out of the box, Duet respects the security and privacy of your data that is sent as a prompts. The same applies to custom tuning. We will be allowing organizations to add their own tuning layers in a way that respects your additional training data the same way we respect the prompt information. This means that computation performing your custom tuning and the hosting the resulting org-specific models are done in an environment dedicated to your company only with clear boundaries around your data. There is never commingled with other customers' custom data. Your training data can't be used to improve Google's or any customer's model. So again, Duet AI for Cloud is still in private preview and is planning to be generally available later this year. In addition to Google Cloud, we also are offering Duet AI for Google Workspace, which became generally available this year as of September 1st. So let's dive a little bit deeper into Duet AI for Google Workspace. Duet AI for Google Workspace Enterprise is a suite of AI-powered tools that helps you get more done in Google Workspace. This technology is not meant to replace your job. It represents the ability for everyone in the organization to have an embedded assistant and to exponentially increase their productivity, doing more with less time, recapturing their work-life balance, and up-leveling their work. Currently, Duet AI for Workspace consists of the following 4 main feature sets: helping you write and refine content in Gmail and Google Docs, creating original images from text right within Google Slides, turning ideas into custom templates with Google Sheets, and helping to foster more meaningful connections in Google Meet. Before I get into more details on the capabilities of Duet AI for Workspace, I just wanted to take a moment to assure you that we take the privacy and security of your Duet AI data very seriously. In fact, your Duet AI data receives the same exact data protection and security standards as any other Google Workspace service. First and foremost, we do not use your customer data to train our AI models. Our models sit outside your organization's trust boundary, and none of your data is fed back into the models. The second important point here is that we do not allow your Duet AI data to leak outside of your organization. And lastly, we know that some individuals might be concerned that their prompts or outputs might be seen by others in your organization, but Duet AI does not allow prompts or session content to leak between users. Now let's get into the features that Duet AI for Workspace offers. Starting with Help Me Write, which can be used to create text with ease, be it long form or short form. Users can describe what they're looking to write and watch Duet AI and Docs get it started for you. If a user is writing a job description, Duet AI will not only help them write the content, it will also include smart chips for info like location and status and variables, for details they want to customize like their company name, all without ever having to leave the document. Duet AI will offer unlimited suggestions for how to write cohesively, avoid repetition, and using a more formal or active voice. Continuing with Help Me Write, this feature will also be available in Gmail on desktop and mobile. Similar to the functionality we just saw in Docs, users will be able to enter a prompt and ask Duet AI to create an email out of it. Furthermore, they will be able to refine that email. So for example, you could ask Duet AI to formalize the tone of your email. On the screen, we're seeing an example of how Help Me Write in Gmail is available on a mobile device so that if users are on the go, they can still use the power of Duet AI. In Sheets, we're applying Duet AI into our new Help Me Organize capability. Users can simply describe what they're trying to accomplish, and Sheets will generate a custom template that allows them to get started immediately. For example, let's say you're a project manager and you're creating a tracker for an upcoming website launch. You can ask Sheets to create a table with deliverables, owners, due dates, and project status. Just like that, you instantly have a table to start building your project plan. With Help Me Organize, the possibilities are endless. Then we have Help You Visualize in Slides, which allows you to easily generate images from text descriptions. Users will be able to write a prompt, and Duet AI will generate an image for them based on that prompt. Similar to Slides functionality, you will be able to create AI-generated backgrounds for Google Meet based on your prompt. On the screen, we have an example of Duet AI creating a magical forest background for the user to use in their Google Meet call. Duet AI and Meet can also help you look and sound your best, so you can professionally communicate with customers, partners, and teammates. Duet AI will enhance your video quality and restore your sound as needed to guarantee you are coming across clearly, so you can focus on getting alignment, making decisions, or celebrating team wins without even having to worry about technical issues. The Helping You Sound Best feature is bringing AI noise cancellation to Google Meet. Using the Palm 2 language model, Google Meet will be able to improve the sound quality of your voice and eliminate any background noise that isn't you talking. And lastly, in Google Meet, you can use translated captions in real time for your meetings with more languages. For example, if there are two speakers on a call that speak different languages, both users can use translated captions to translate what the other user is saying into their own language in the form of captions. We currently support 12 languages for translated captions and are planning to add more language support soon. So today, we've only seen the tip of the iceberg of what Gen AI Google is planning to integrate into Google Workspace. Here's a preview of what forward-looking functionality Google is planning to add to Duet AI for Workspace. Some of these products have already been announced, such as Help You Write in Gmail and Docs, but more features are yet to come, like formula generation in Sheets and slide content generation. I hope this was helpful in helping you to understand how Duet AI can help you be more productive in Google Cloud and Workspace. Now I'm going to hand it off to Akanksha to wrap us up.
Thanks so much, Grace, for talking about Duet AI on GCP and on Workspace. Sounds like some really exciting tools there. So, we've talked about all of our offerings, and now I want to talk about the roadmap of beginning your journey and what that looks like for starting your journey with Gen AI and specifically for Gen AI on Google Cloud. So really the prep work that we ask you to do and these questions that you ask yourself is a 4-step process, starting with the use case. So asking questions like, what are your key business objectives and your top focus areas that AI can help you with? And have you experimented with Gen AI with any other technologies? What have been the pain points? What have been the learnings? And what can you bring in from there into when you get started on GCP? And what really defines a successful outcome for using Gen AI? And then the next step is questions about data. So things like, where's your data located? Data that would be used for prompting or for tuning certain models. And how mature do you really feel your data platform is overall? Do you have to do any prep work like cleaning the data or migrating over to a certain database or a certain spot to be able to start using Gen AI? The third step being environment discovery. So do you already have a GCP environment set up? Have you split up projects between a dev project and a production project? Things like that. And if you haven't already done so, those would be some of the first steps in order to start using our tools that we talked about today. And the last one being your own readiness. So what does your timeline look like? How soon do you want to have your Gen AI or ML workload in production? How are you training or enabling your team? Is that something that they need to teach them about this new family of products that we've released? Things like that. After you and your team have internally discussed those questions, I would love if you could scan this QR code here to fill out this form about a quick check on AI readiness. So I'll give you a second to scan that here. Awesome. So how can we really help you today? So you can do this by, reaching out to someone if you have already connected with someone at Google, so someone like a startup success manager or an account executive, or reaching out in different ways. So in terms of connecting with the Google Cloud sales representative, you can chat online with us, you can call our sales team, or you can request a callback. And so if you scan this QR code here, this will take you to our contact page so you can get started with that process. And on that note, I just want to say thank you so much for your time. We hope this was helpful for you to learn more about all of the exciting products and technologies that are coming out in the Gen AI world. And we are very excited to work with you. Thank you so much.